So the engine is full of fluid, the transmission's full of fluid. We've left the spark plugs out, connected the wires just so we can pop them in later. And you ready to go see if we got some oil pressure? Yeah. Let's go spin this thing over and see what we got. I wonder if the gauge will work with the key in the start position. Come on, there it is. Cool. Right. Well, hold it down for like a minute. Make sure you get the oil circulated all throughout the transmission and the engine good. And then we'll pop the spark plugs in and start it up. All right. This is awesome. Let me know when. Good. So yeah, while he's doing that, we're going to go ahead and take a break. Let the oil system completely prime. Throw the spark plugs in this thing and fire it up. Straight manifolds. One of my favorite YouTubers, LT Tolman. He does pretty much everything I'm trying to do to this truck here. I've learned a bunch from watching him. Definitely one of my favorite YouTubers. Break time, I catch up on my own YouTube stuff. So the engine is primed, and I'm going to go and prime the fuel system now. I'm going over to the modified laptop. Got my HP tuners open. And let's turn the key on. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to resync my interface. I do it every time. HP tuners suggest doing that just to update it. And connect to vehicle. Alright, so we're connected now, and what I'm going to do is go to my special functions and get a fuel system. Turn the fuel pump on. I can hear it. And I'm going to go to the front and grab something and check if I have fuel pressure. Let the air out of it. Be surprised it takes a little longer than you think. I was getting air for a minute and now oh yeah, I got fuel now. We can fire the truck off and see if it pops. So I'll get back to my HP. Pump off. Right, now when I cycle the key, the truck will do the rest. So I can turn that off, shut that down for a second. Rotate the key off and on. You'll hear the pump. Moment of truth. See if it starts. Can't let it run too long because I don't have any coolant in it. Yeah, buddy. She makes noise. Right. Well, firing a hole, everything's successful. I'm gonna check for leaks and put the exhaust system back on it, and we'll try the transmission so I can hear if there's anything going on with it, with the truck quiet. Excuse the fan, but a fan in Louisiana is life. You gotta do something to move that hot, wet air. So put the screw back on the fuel rail. And I believe I have the complete cooling system wrapped up. There's a clamp on every hose, and the top line, bottom line, we're all on. So instead of burning up a water pump, got my decks cool. Why? Because that's what came in it. I hate how you have to fill up the reservoir instead of the radiator cap, but I guess it's safer this way. Some antifreezes require distilled water. Antifreeze also lubricates your water pump. It stops corrosion from going in between your engine and your heads and your radiator. If you ran just water, you'll notice the water's rusty. Well, all that's from the inside of the engine rusting, getting into everything else. So in the back here it says it's concentrate. You got to add water to it. Use only distilled water. Serious. Right there. The chlorine and all in your tap water will mess with how this coolant works. But if you want it to last, use the right stuff. So this isn't exactly a fun or interesting part, but I'm putting a stock Y pipe back on it. And I went and cleaned all my threads off with a, 10 millimeter by 1.5 pitch die. And I'm just gonna go and connect the stock muffler at the Y pipe and put up the stock exhaust. It's not modified, but it will make it quiet so I can hear this transmission if there's anything going on with it besides what I did to it. And if I can hear a whine or something else, and then I'm going to let it run through all the gears while it's up here on the lift. Before I go ahead and give it the okay and start doing smoky burnouts with it or cut the exhaust off, I want to be able to hear what the transmission's doing. I know the engine's fine. I done ragged that out myself. But just to make sure the transmission's 100 before I send my kid off in it, I want to be able to hear it somehow. And then I'll be able to cut the mufflers off and modify that and make it fun too. So I'm going to bolt up the stock exhaust and we're going to run it through the gears next just to see if what I did made a difference. If I fixed it or not. So we have the boring factory exhaust put back on. I believe James May would call this quiet and asinine. The quiet and asinine exhaust has been put back on with the giant coffin muffler over the axle and at the back. But for a good reason, because I want to hear what this transmission is doing. I know it grinded in the second and popped, and it would lock up the whole drivetrain. So that being said, let's get this screw jack out of the way, fire up this quiet asinine exhaust, and see if I fixed this 4L60 or not. All right, y'all. I really hate to end the video like this. I do. Bad news, the transmission's still doing the same thing, which means when I went through it, I did not go into the low reverse section, and my low reverse brag is bad. On that terrible disappointment, I'm trying to pull the transmission back out. The engine is silent like a sewing machine with that quiet asinine exhaust on it. Engine runs perfectly just like it did in my 06 Silverado that it came out of, but I'm not gonna fire it up and show y'all how quiet it is and how much noise it doesn't make, because when I tried the transmission out, and I was gonna try it out before, should have recorded it, but I didn't. First gear, silent. Shifts in a second, you can hear the band clamp and the back tire starts slowing down. So like an idiot, I tried to give it a little gas to see if I could power through it, and it made a god-awful crunching, clanking, just horrible noise. So that tells me that I cut a corner and I should have went all the way to the bottom of low reverse, and if I'd have taken out one more snap ring, I could have gotten to the low reverse section and saw that my low reverse brag was bad. So that being said, transmission's got to come back out and the engine runs flawlessly, but we're going to take it out one more time just to make sure it's right. I got a new sprag coming, fix it, put it back in, and hopefully next week we can lay some rubber, at least one tire, because I think it's an open diff rear end. Thank y'all for watching Modified this week. Catch y'all next week. Later.